Three, two, one. Here we go. Hello there. My name is Lucky Luck Luke. You can catch me on Twitch TV at Twitch TV/Lucky Luck Luke 2, and I'm going to be doing a tutorial for Sword of Stars: The Pit, the Ranger class. I've done a few other class tutorials already, so hopefully you caught some of those if you're looking for tutorials. But if you're looking to play the Ranger and haven't seen one of my videos yet, I will kind of talk a bit about myself first. I have been streaming the Pit for quite a while on Twitch TV, so hopefully you can come pay me a visit because I'm still doing so. And yeah, I've been playing pretty much every class in the Pit on hard difficulty, and beaten a few on Insane. Beaten Insane Ranger, Insane Scion, Insane Scout, Insane Engineer. And yeah, Insane Ranger was actually the first class that I beat Insane on during Mind Games. So yeah, I think the Ranger is the best class to play as a new player, especially. Very well-rounded class, great starting loot gear, and yeah, let's just get into her and start talking about Tarka Ranger. Oh, look at that, she starts with penguins. I haven't played the Ranger in quite a while, but I think I still remember a lot of the general strategies, and I can help you with tips and general guide. So first thing you kind of want to do, if you're not aware of, you can actually add the tail swipe to your attack bar. I guess I call it hotkey bar. Yeah, hotkey bar. So yeah, you're going to be using your tail swipe a lot. So basically, when you start, one strategy I like to do for most classes, if you're a brand new player, you may not need to do this, but I like to take my armor off. You don't really need your armor on early on, because you kind of want to save the durability as much as you can, because you are going to need it later. And the longer you can last without needing to wear your armor, the longer your armor will last. So we're going to kill this delicious penguin here. And generally you want to kill stuff with your tail swipe. I think from my experiences, the tail swipe does more damage than the fist, generally. The fist attacks twice, but the damage from the tail swipe generally is higher. See, there is actually lower. Punch was actually better. But from my experiences, tail swipe and tends to do more damage. Also, tail swipe has the awesome ability of cleaving. You can hit the 3 squares in front of you. So if there's 3 enemies here, tail swipe will hit more of them, and you'll probably see that in a second. So let's talk about the strengths of the Tarka Ranger. So one of her best strengths is 3 move speed. That is amazing for reducing food consumption, outrunning enemies, getting out of scary situations, etc. Finding a lot of nasty enemies here at the beginning. She's got a pretty good level up, pretty good XP gain, as you can see there. Leveled up pretty quickly. So let's take a look at her starting gear. She starts off with the SAR, which is an amazing melee weapon with high durability, high damage, and a cleave effect. Starts with the heavy pistol. Not the most accurate pistol, but does some pretty heavy damage and will carry you very far. Also, the impact armor, great starting armor, decent durability, 50 armor, ain't bad. She also starts with a heck of a lot of insta-healing and the Tarka Field Surgery, which Tarkas have a inherent 99% chance. Other classes will have a hard time using the Tarka Healing Kit, but not the Tarkas. Starts with a fair amount of food. Tarka Warbread is a very important recipe. Won't say for what recipe in case you don't want any spoilers. But yeah, she starts off with, I guess she doesn't start with that much food. But one of her biggest strengths is that she has very high foraging skill. And the high movement speed in combination with the high foraging skill means that food generally is not a problem on this class. So yeah, let's take a look at her stats here. So she gets 3 stat points for the level. So I would suggest you invest these points to start off with in Might. Get Might to 60, get that extra inventory space. She's a very well-rounded character. As you can see, Power 55, Brains 50, Finesse 60, Might 50, Might 60. 55. So I'd suggest you first get a bit of might, and it's hard to say which one is better if you want to go might or finesse. I wouldn't invest much in brains. Not a fan of the brain stat myself, and a bit of power would be good to help resist psionic effects, but you could leave it there for the whole game. But personally, I'd probably end up getting it up to like 60, 65. Considering how many stat points she gets per level, you might have a few floating. But finesse is the way I usually go. I really like the finesse skill. It affects lockpicking, it affects electronics, and all of your weapon skills. So, range weapon skills, I should say. So it's a really good stat. But there's arguments to say might is better. Even some people like brains. I do not like brains at all, though. But I wouldn't invest too much in power one way or another. She also gets, one of her weaknesses, I guess, is that she only gets 4 skill points per level, which makes it very hard to invest into psionics. So does not make her very psionic viable character. That doesn't mean you should ignore psionics completely, because you definitely need a few points of resistance. You need Psi Shield. I personally like getting Psi Armor unlocked as well. Maybe not just for the Psi Armor skill, but getting more resistance points makes Psi Shield last longer. Don't think it makes it stronger, but it does make it last longer, so I think you should at least aim for 20, 25. But I like to get 35 because I feel like Psi Armor is a pretty neat skill. Now what to do with the rest of her points? It's a bit hard to say. I would invest probably in either empathy or telekinesis. Maybe not both. Maybe not either. This is very debatable. Depends on your playstyle, I guess. I think trying to unlock Fear is probably worth it. It's a very good skill. And considering her power is at a pretty good level, Fear is probably worth unlocking. So for this playthrough, we're just going to... well, this tutorial, we're just going to put a point in empathy. That leaves you 2 points floating. Eventually you'll stop investing into resistance and stop investing into empathy and be able to use points elsewhere. So you'll have a few points kicking around. Because it's early, I figured putting a point in foraging can't hurt. I wouldn't invest too much into foraging. Maybe 55 tops, maybe not at all. You could, might want to just save your points for other skills. Actually, what else could you invest in? So the mechanical skill is a very important skill, so I would try to save some points for that. The reason I like mechanical so much is that it helps you open a lot of like ammo lockers and food lockers and stuff like that. But more importantly, it helps. There's a lot of important things that need crafting. That a lot of crafting items that rely on this skill. So high mechanical is extremely important. Try not to level any skill before they get up to 45, though. You can put a few points in the blade. Yeah, I think in this situation, hard to say. You're going to be relying on your SAR for a long time, so why not? Let's get a bit of one blade point early on. You don't want to put too much points in your combat skills, because your combat skills are pretty darn good already. Probably want to invest in things like biotech. Is another great skill. She doesn't have many skills, so you're only going to be able to level a few things solely. Biotech, mechanical, probably one of the points in this the resistance, and then the other point maybe decipher or something like that. We'll talk about the rest of her strengths. I kind of got sidetracked there. She starts with very high foraging. I think I already mentioned that. She starts with the SAR. I kind of talked about that. She starts with the tail swipe ability, which is really good, just basic melee. You can kill pretty much everything in the first floor too with the tail swipe. So try to only use your tail swipe to keep the durability on the SAR, because the SAR needs to carry you very far. And yeah, she starts with tons of instant healing, fair amount of food. The armor is pretty good. She starts with a few bypass circuits. Try to save these for like repair stations in the future, or for fixing labs. I feel like fixing a lab is pretty important. You get a lot of electronic skill ups from doing so. Electronic is a skill that I wouldn't invest in, period, actually. You generally, it goes up pretty high naturally from trying to access things like consoles and labs, and you don't really need it to be very high. There are some pretty important crafts, but generally I find like you find a lot of tools that will a lot of tools that will help you with your electronics, and you can always craft bypass circuits. She has a pretty high lockpick skill, but to counteract that, she does not start with lockpick set. So finding new weaponry can be somewhat difficult early on. She has a pretty good computer skill. 35 is very respectable, which will allow you to use repair stations without too much risk. So that is quite important. I think that's it for her strength and weaknesses. So we're going to go through the first floor and you know, find some stuff to talk about. So one thing you want to do, because of her 3 move speed and her tail swipe, you just want to try to position yourself so you can hit multiple enemies at once. Pretty important. Make sure that you're careful and don't destroy like rock piles, like probably just for example saying an attack here, and an attack here. Oh, look at all these enemies I'm killing. And there's a chance that, there you go, I destroyed that rock pile. So be careful. Try not to destroy rock piles or any other loot with your either your SAR or your tail swipe. You don't need to be too worried about disease with her. With this 58 might, you're pretty good to fight it off, and with antibiotics as a backup, disease is not a very big concern, nor is poison. There's something I really want to talk about, hopefully we get in a situation, is you need to be careful with the cleave of the SAR. You don't want to hit unnecessary props. Hopefully I can show you an example during this tutorial to show you exactly what I'm talking about. Currently playing on hard difficulty right now, just so you get an idea of what type of enemies I face on the hard difficulty. The type of enemies you fight will change depending on the difficulty level that you're playing in. Okay. So with their high foraging skill, pretty much all of the rock piles you find on the first floor are like 90+%. So you find like a good amount of food right at the beginning. So you may be tempted here to like shoot this robot. Try to not use your pistol at such a long range. So I got a bit closer and it missed anyways, so we're gonna get a bit closer. And here you can either debate to, there's a debate to just you want to try to save your pistol ammo. You only have 48 shots, so we're gonna be greedy here. I'm gonna tail swipe that, and then we're gonna walk up to it and use a SAR. Hopefully we don't die. Alright. Took a risk there, but like I say in most of my other playthroughs, it's best to take risks early on. Just to carry you. The more risks you take early on, the easier it's going to make your late game. So, yeah. Try to save every pistol shot. Could matter depending on if you get it, how lucky you are finding new ammunitions and new weaponry. Oh, I kind of forgot to, I should hide this in the background here. There you go. Sorry about that. So here we go. Let's continue with the tutorial. So you don't want to, the exit was, wait, where's the exit? I thought the exit was over here. Anyways, I'm not sure why it's not showing up on my map. But, yeah, you don't want to skip rooms in the earlier floors generally. I don't think you want to skip rooms too much on this character, period, because she has the food, she has enough food to handle you being able to explore everything, and, yeah. So I haven't been wearing my armor on this whole floor. I'm gonna put a good thing you want to do if you're doing the no armor, not wearing your armor strat. Put it on at the beginning of new floors. Generally, that's usually where you get into troubles and die. You know, reload your weapons. Do everything you gotta do at the beginning of the floor. Whoa! So there's an example of when the cleave sword can work against you. So I attacked the robot, and the cleave triggered a teleport trap. Sometimes the cleave is nice, but sometimes the cleave can get you killed. So we're going to level up. We're going to put 2 points in Might, 1 in Finesse. We're going to get, oh, we got lucky. We unlocked Side Shield already. Side Shield Empathy. Get Forging. I'm going to get Forging to like 55 or 65 and then probably stop there. And I think that's it. No more into Blade. I think Blade's at 60 now, so I think that's just fine. So just for example's sake, you want to try to avoid fighting enemies in doorways like this. So the reason for that is that when I do attack this enemy, I'm hitting the enemy and the door. And that causes you to have a better chance of damaging your SAR. So when you're fighting enemies, try to with the SAR, try to not fight them next to props like this. Because your SAR, as it got damaged there, probably because I hit the ruined locker. Not because I hit the enemy. But maybe not, who knows. But still, you're more likely to damage your SAR when you're attacking in hold. So again, we're gonna try to save our pistol ammo and just try to engage this guy with the sword. The 3 move speed allows us to close the gap pretty quickly and just chop, chop, chop. Alright, we're just gonna go to the next floor. Generally, I'd kill everything around here, but yeah, I'm gonna go fast. Probably should not use my SAR on this enemy. It's not a very dangerous enemy. We're just going to... yeah, I probably should not use my SAR on the enemy. Should just use my tail swipe, because it doesn't do much damage. So, this is most likely a teleport trap, but I'm just going to show you guys how you should test for door traps. So, what you want to do, you want to drop all your gear, and then you walk through the trap, and that was a teleport trap, so we're fine. So let's say this was a destruction trap, because there is a trap in the game which will destroy a random item in your inventory. So basically what you want to do here is grab an item that you don't really care to be destroyed, and let's say this was that type of trap. You walk through it and it would destroy that item, and you would identify it. Kind of a pain to do, but definitely worth it. Now the downfall to that is, as you saw in this example, this is a teleport trap. Let's say it was a teleport trap, but it could teleport me over there. Because I dropped all my loot on the ground, it would teleport me away from all my stuff and probably kill me. With the 3 move speed, I might be okay and be able to run back. But that is a risk you run doing that strategy, but it's well worth the risk, especially early on. Alright, so I think that's it for the tutorial for the Ranger. Not too much else I can talk about her. Like I said, I think she's the best starting class if you're a new player. But all in all, not just for that, I think she's very well rounded and just a very strong character, period. So yeah, if you're looking to beat the pit for the first time ever, I think she's a great candidate. On top of that, she's awesome for unlocking messages. I don't think she's the best class, but she's a good class for unlocking messages. That in combination with a great starting equipment, excuse me, abundant instant healing, which is very forgiving. I think she's by far the best character to play. The bad thing as a new character is that you will not learn how to use psionics, because she can't really access many psionic abilities. But you could always learn that on your next playthrough on a different character. Anyways, so my name is Lucky Luck Luke. Catch me on Twitch TV at Lucky Luck Luke 2. Or, yeah, make sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel, give me a follow, and hopefully if I'm streaming live, you come say hey. So you guys take care, and I hope you enjoyed the tutorial. Peace out. Okay,